Hey guys, Brian delivered you the goods here. Thought I'd return to you again tonight for this next uh, review. It's actually a review for Bring Me the Horizon Low Files release that they decided to release to us just tonight. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 23 songs, which is an hour and 21 minutes of a listen, and let you know my thoughts on this release overall. So let's dive into this um, review tonight. So it starts with Can You Feel My Heart, the remixed, I guess, version. It's a low files version of a track. It does have featured artists in it that helps with the production in this track. Most of these songs do, mostly. But it overall does very well for how it sounds. It's a 4.75 out of 5. It's very mellow. It's a chilled back, laid back release, I'm gonna be honest. And overall, it's, 4.75 out of 5. Then comes Utopia DRM, which is another Low Files release off this Low Files, I guess you could say, album, but it's not technically an album. But that's why I called it review for that reason, because it's just a release they decided to release to us for release songs that are already out, but re-recorded versions of them, or certain recordings for these songs. So basically 4.75 out of 5 for Utopia DRM. In the Dark ECH is a solid one for sure. So another 4.75 out of 5. Follow You BND is another one that I do enjoy. It's, like I said, most of these tracks do not have singing in it. You just hear the melodies of the tracks, and you can easily follow along with it. And it does very well for how it sounds overall. So, yeah, it's a definite 4.75 out of 5 for Follow You BND. Dark Side Verx, or however you pronounce it. Um, I think this is a pretty good one. It does have a nice tune to it, and the sound and tone to this track is pretty solid for sure. So I'd give it a 4.75 out of 5. Kingslayer .fmk. While I'm doing this review, I'm also doing a survey too. So if you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's because of my phone, of course. I'm doing a survey. So that's why I'm multitasking during this review. But other than that, Kingslayer.fmk is a pretty good one. So 4.75 out of 5. Sometimes I gotta take pause breaks to focus on the review itself that I'm giving you guys tonight. But solid release. Sleepwalking.idl is a pretty good one. So 4.75 out of 5. I do enjoy the melody and the tone to it, and the overall mixing and production is pretty solid for this recording. 4.75 out of 5. Then comes Drown.vw or .vvv, or however you pronounce it. That's how they're pronouncing it. But overall, it's pretty solid too. It's another 4.75 out of 5. Lost.404.nll. Another solid one. Can get on board with this. The melody and the recording style to it is pretty nice for the most part, so I dig it. 4.75 out of 5. It's very laid back for sure. This whole entire recording album is very laid back for the runtime it goes for. So, yeah, interesting release. Um, 4.75 out of 5. Seen it all before. XX.arc. Another recording song off this release. 4.75 out of 5. I got not much to say about it. It's just the fact of the matter is it's very short. It's as lengthy as the song itself, but it's still pretty solid of material. Then we get to Parasite Eve. Another interesting song for sure. I couldn't follow along with the melody at first, but it started picking up as I progressed through the track. So solid recording track. 4.75 out of 5. Medicine.fbk. This was a lengthy one for sure. This was like 5 minutes and 9 seconds, so they made it a little lengthy. I think with these songs, my theory is these are probably recordings of when they were making these tracks. So that's pretty cool, honestly, because you get to experience what they were doing the whole time making these songs and recording them and getting them ready to be released eventually. And then the final product comes out, and then that's what we get. But overall, yeah, I think that's what this low files thing is about. Like previous recordings of their final of their tracks that they got into. Basically, um, this was like previous recordings. Basically, sorry, I was getting distracted by something. Um, Overall, previous recordings of songs before they actually hit its final production and all that, and then the final product came out, and yeah. But overall, yeah, Parasite Eve 4.75 out of 5, and Medicine FBK 4.75 out of 5. Kool-Aid XXO is an interesting release for sure. Another solid one. I'd give it a 4.75 out of 5. Digit.core, interesting release for sure. I'd give it another 4.75 out of 5. I got not much to say. The melody works for how it is. Doomed ERRX is another interesting recording that I got into. So a 4.75 out of 5. Avalanche Drift is another pretty good one. I really like the melody to it. It sounds very good. So basically, it's a 4.75 out of 5. One Day the Only Butterflies Will Be in Your Chest, which was off the. Most of these songs are songs that were off of, let's say, Sempiternal. Then you have the stuff from That's the Spirit, Ammo, or yeah, Ammo, or however they're pronouncing it. Ammo, the Post-Human Survival Horror, and the recent release from last year, Next Gen, Post-Human Next Gen. So overall, One Day the Only Butterflies Will Be in Your Chest had an interesting recording melody that I could get on board with. So another 4.75 out of 5. Strangers, dot VSNO. Another pretty interesting recording song that I'm definitely digging. So it's definitely a 4.75 out of 5. One by One Synced is another interesting one too. So another 4.75 out of 5 for this one. Then we get to Shadow Moses.frq, or frequency, I believe is how you pronounce it. Frequent or whatever. But overall, it's pretty solid, so 4.75 out of 5. Mother Tongue is an interesting one. I'd give it a 4.75 out of 5. It does have the melody to it that I can get on board with. So I'm interested in it. It's a definite 4.75 out of 5. And then finally, we get some singing in these last two songs from Ollie Sykes. But it's mostly mixed with the production, so there's a little bit of singing. Not a lot, but overall, Die For You. SYSRSK is an interesting one. It does have some singing. It's very short, so it's only 2 minutes and 7 seconds, but does well for the production. So for this recording track, 4.75 out of 5. Throne.God, good recording track I'm definitely interested in. So definite 4.75 out of 5. So overall, what I was mostly going to say in like the middle part of the review, at the 6-minute mark of the review, my theory, like I said, is these are recording samples of tracks that they started recording in the studio and then eventually building up to them working a little harder on making these tracks and then putting it out to the world. So that's what my theory was. These are like recordings of original songs that are already out. But that's kind of my theory. But overall, I think that this was a pretty good recording sampled kind of low files review. For this low files review, I was interested in it. I'm glad they put something like this out. It made me more interested to see what they were working on and their process with how they were trying to get these songs produced and mixed and all that, and working on the tracks and sampling it. Did very well. So if I were to give this release a score, I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. It's a pretty good release. I mean, granted, it's going to be a very chilled back, relaxing kind of 23 track Bring Me the Horizon record, but it's not really technically a record. It's a recording sample of tracks that they were working on while making these songs. So that's my theory. I don't know if I'm actually being accurate about it or not, but you can let me know in the comment section below if I got it on point or if I misconstrued what I sought to be that. But other than that, I think it's an 8.5 out of 10 for Low Files by Bring Me the Horizon. This release was very interesting, and definitely will be coming back to it a lot more. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this Low Files review for Bring Me the Horizon. I hope you found some enjoyment in this review, and thank you guys for watching.